Hello, and welcome again to the 31 Day in the Moment Cleanse. I'm Sarah Raleigh, and I'm going to be sharing with you a recipe that I made a while ago, and it's a bean and vegetable stew, and, sugar-free and no carbs in it, and it's really good. I think it's really good, and it's pretty simple. I'm not a cook by any means, like not like a cook that like comes up with recipes and stuff, but I did come up with one, so yeah, but I'll be sharing that with you a little later. I wanted to talk about the power of now, and today felt much more easeful, and was able to be in the moment more, and listening to the audio, I remembered one of the practices that he suggests that we do to find that inner peace and stillness, and when I heard him saying it, I was just like, oh yeah, like I know that. Like, I don't know why it's like very, very tricky mind I have. I so easily forget these useful tools. But they're really simple. You just he talks about like contrast, so the manifested, which is our physical form, and the unmanifested, which is nothing, which is the space that allows there to be things to have space in, if that makes any sense. So if there was only silence and there was no noise, then you wouldn't know what silence was, right? Like you'd have nothing to contrast it, nothing to compare it to. So, there's silence and noise, so that's kind of like the manifested, our form, and then the unmanifested, it's just nothing, no thing. And they both need each other to exist. And he says if you just practice listening to when someone's speaking, or if you're even if you're hearing like a kid cry or something, whatever noise, whether it's a pleasurable noise or a not so pleasurable noise, you listen for the silence in between the noises, and it totally, at least for me, that seems to be one of the practices that really helps me get to that peaceful state. I do feel stillness inside when I listen for the silence in between noises. It's just amazing to me. I can be very, like have all this like built up energy inside, and like, and feel like tense. And then once I do that, like, a kid can be crying and I'm trying to comfort them, and they're, sometimes they just need to cry, like, even though you've done, everything you can think of to try and cheer them up or something, like, sometimes kids need space, and kids need to just cry. They're just upset, and they just need that. So, I listen for the silence, when they take that breath, or, and it really helps me, have stillness inside of me, and then I naturally have patience. I don't have to try to have patience. The only thing I'm trying to do is listen for the silence. So, yeah, and then he also says to try to get a feel for the space in a room, rather than like the things in the room. Like, try and just get a feel for the space in the room, and so that helps too. So it's just like a pretty cool exercise. Don't take my word for it. Go ahead and give it a try yourself. Something simple, and that's one of the things that he says, you know. He's like, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. None of this is gonna make sense in your head until you try it, and then it's gonna make sense to you. It's gonna make sense to your soul, because your mind just can't understand some things. Some things are beyond the mind. And so yeah, it's my power of now. So here's my mix. I didn't make this stew. I usually just eat, like, everything I've shared with you before. Like, I usually just eat that, and I just eat the same recipes over and over again, and I don't feel bothered by it, but I don't know, I just feel from doing these videos, I feel like I want to, like, give you guys more options and just share more options with people. And since I already have this recipe that I had made, so I'm like, oh, let's share that. So I just went to Sprouts, and I love those bins where you scoop and you put them in the bag. I love those bins. So I just, like, put a scoop of, you know, each bean that I liked. You know, I've got lentils in there. I even got some wild rice in there, and kidney beans, pinto beans. There's white beans. There's these green beans. There's peas in there. Yeah, I just went to town and got a scoop of everything, and then I just mixed them up all together and put them in here. And so my recipe that I made is step 1, place 2 cups of the mixed beans in a bowl, and you add water and you cover with, like, plastic, and you put them in the fridge and you leave them there overnight, and it, like, soaks the beans. The beans are gonna cook faster when you soak them overnight. It's like a little trick. So then you drain the beans and begin to prepare the rest of the soup. Peel and dice the carrots and onions and celery. I even put, like, broccoli in there before, and it was pretty good. And garlic, and add the beans to a large soup pot and pour in 6 to 8 cups of you can use vegetable stock, or I just use water. But I imagine if you wanted to use, like, chicken stock or something, that you could. Add the onions, carrots, celery, and the garlic, salt and pepper, and bring the soup to a boil. Overheat, cover the soup, and let it simmer on low for 2 hours and 10 minutes. And add the broccoli and cauliflower, if you want cauliflower too. And then cook for another 20 minutes, and then you just add any spices you want. During that time, I read somewhere that you add the spices a little bit later in the recipe, and then it's more, like, flavorful. But of course, like, you know, when you have, like, leftovers and you leave them in the fridge overnight, then, like, the next day it tastes even better, because, like, all the spices, like, mixed together really good. So I didn't really write how much I made. Sorry. See, this is why I'm not a cook, but that was my recipe. I'm sorry, I don't know how much it makes. But it's 2 cups of uncooked beans, so I imagine it could feed at least, like, 4 people. At the least. But yeah, I liked it, and it was pretty simple. So that's my recipe for the day, and I have to say that I'm super, super pleased with my skin. My skin has never in my life looked this clear before. I know I have, like, a blemish here, but it's not just, like, your average blemish. I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to probably have to go to, like, a estheticianist. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And have them take a look at it, because I don't know what's going on there, but something's going on, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. So, yeah, I think that's everything, and thank you guys for watching my video. And I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I hope you're taking very good care of yourselves. Namaste.